So, what are we going to call our podcast?
What podcast?
You and me discussing spirit science.
Oh, I have no idea.
Um, I was thinking this just in. Barbie said that's corny.
The good, the bad, and the woo.
The good, the bad, and the woo woo. Oh, you had to get a woo woo in there. Okay. How about wit and woo woo? I mean, that's kind of long.
How about slightly informed versus misinformed?
No, 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 now, come on, now. No, 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 no. That's not good enough. I thought you'd come up with something better than that. Maybe you got to think on it. Maybe we just got to start discussing black holes or something. And then the title will come to us.
Oh.
Woo woo style.
Black holes don't make things come to you.
Oh.
It's the opposite. They make things get away from you. Pull everything away.
Science woo woo style. No, I think a black hole is a collector, a compressor. It contains everything compressed. Right? Get out of the kitchen. Stop wandering.
All mass is a compressor. That's what gravity does. That's what everything does.
That's what the
That's
black
what
hole
sun
does.
That's what a planet does. That's what everything.
So I already know the answer.
Technically, you are a compressor to a tiny degree. You have your own gravity too. All mass has gravity.
What are we compressing?
Yourself. Wherever your center of mass is, every atom and bit of you is being pulled toward it and smushed towards it, just like the center of the earth is being crushed and smashed.
So, like your stomach, what? I'm not seeing.
On a human, it depends on literally how you're standing and where, but yeah, it's roughly around your midsection, unless you're hunched over. Or
That's where the
extended.
Tantian is.
But yeah, all
your
matter.
intuition.
Everything that's matter bends the fabric of space-time, which then means everything around it is getting pulled in, and then if it's enough, it's compressed.
So we're sucking in our surroundings.
Is why a star works. Big stars are literally so massive with so much gravity that even though it's insanely hard to force fusion to get two atoms to fuse, we have to build these giant, insane reactors to be able to pull it off. A sun has so much gravity, it happens automatically because the gravity is so strong. It overcomes the nuclear physics that would normally prevent atoms from ever touching. You know how you never touch. Like even though you're doing this, my hand's atoms never actually touch atoms in this. Otherwise, there'd be a nuclear explosion.
So they're saying
So that force that is super powerful, the electromagnetic force that prevents atoms from touching, gravity gets so big in a giant star that it overwhelms that and forces the atoms to touch, and they smash together and fuse. And then basically a star is an ongoing series of massive amounts of nuclear explosions constantly trying to explode outward, but the massive gravity is also trying to constantly collapse it in, and they reach a balance.
So it's kind of like a black hole, white hole
bomb.
combined or something.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought of it.
It's like an infinite nuclear explosion.
I mean, I picture source as a black hole, white hole, self-recycling, and they're discovering that some galaxies have black hole, white hole.
Yeah.
But I never pictured the sun like that.
A star is kind of a miniature, kind of set up
like a miniature source, universe.
And stars rebirth and regenerate, kind of a cycle similar to the one you've tried to set up, because
when they're done, they go into a black
and the
hole.
Shit spreads out. Well, no, some do, but a lot of them, what happens is they explode and all their shit spreads out. And that eventually gathers and makes new stars, which make new shit out of this new shit, which then make even more new shit.
Infinite creation.
Because when the Big Bang happened, the original universe only had like 6 elements. They didn't have anywhere near the whole element table. They can't be created. There was hydrogen, helium, lithium, and a few other things, and that's it.
Well, there was like gas, and there was like dust. Eventually, there was dust and debris, and then things
for a
started
long time,
collecting.
it was too hot for there even to be matter of any kind. There were no atoms
whatsoever.
It was too hot, yeah. And then it cooled, but then even once it all cooled and there's dust and all that dust still only had about 6 elements. The whole element table was gone. It didn't exist. the first stars were formed, stars, through their fission or fusion, depending on which kind of star they are, turn one element to another, just like a nuclear reactor. And so a star that has those original 6 elements then creates heavier elements, iron, metals,
Like
other
a
things.
giant chemical lab.
Exactly. Then it explodes and spews those new elements that never existed before in the universe. And those new elements eventually make new stars, which are then capable of making even more newer elements, and it goes on and on.
So the universe is sort of like the interior of a body in that you have cells and neurons and all these things activating and cooperating and
copying each other and
creating
making more, and their materials getting used to make more new stuff. Yeah, kind of.
yeah.
It's kind of
So
crazy.
we're
And there's
like
a lot of
cell.
balances rigged, just like our body, how we have to reach acid versus base, your temperature balance, and all that. Same with a star. It's got to reach the right amount of gravity versus the right amount of nuclear explosion to make it a star. Otherwise, it just, or it just one or the other. A lot of stuff in the universe is the same way. There's certain balances. Like the Higgs boson. If
Yeah.
the Higgs field wasn't set exactly where it is, our whole universe couldn't exist the way it exists. And the math tells us that where the Higgs field is not actually its natural state. Something tweaked it to be where it is, some force or something that happened, or the Big Bang itself maybe.
So
And so,
all
like,
this complicated chemical combinations and math that is just there
to be
from the
discovered.
universe,
Yeah.
there has to be
It's
a
waiting to be
consciousness. It can't be
Not
random. I
necessarily.
mean,
No, it can be. That's what's insane. What's
it
even
can be
more crazy.
This complication can be random.
Yes, and what's even more crazy is it could have come from absolutely nothing. Even though
That
matter can't
it
be created or
did
destroyed.
essentially.
It
The
is
black hole
bonkers.
compressed everything down into nothing, and then
Oh
boom.
no, even
There's a
less
thought.
than that. That was the original thought. All the matter of everything was in one tiny compressed super small point and then exploded out for whatever reason. It might not even be that. All the matter of our universe might not have even existed. Space-time itself of our universe might not have existed before the Big Bang. They've done all the math, and basically certain kinds of energy count as positive and certain count as negative. Like gravity is a negative form of energy.
Oh
versus
really?
Other things, yeah.
Okay.
Because gravity is basically, it's kind of like potential energy. It's like the stored energy of matter. Because matter and energy are technically two sides of the same coin. Everything that's matter can be energy. Energy can be matter. It's almost like ice is the solid form of water is liquid.
Uh-huh.
Matter's kind of like the solid form of energy. Sort of. It's not that simple, but they're the same thing. Anyway, so gravity is kind of like a negative energy because it's like you take energy, you make mass, you make matter. It doesn't have its direct energy anymore, but it bends space-time, and that amount it bends space-time ends up equaling out the missing energy. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, so certain things are positive, certain things are negative. So when you add up our entire universe, the mass of all the planets, stars, black holes, everything, and you add up all the gravity and all the forces, it ends out to exactly zero.
What?
Which, yeah,
What?
exactly zero. There's
What do you mean
negatives,
it adds to
dark
zero?
energy, gravity, and all
Oh,
that.
the
You have on
negative
one
and the
side of
positive?
equation, yeah, you take a giant equation,
Ah.
everything in the whole universe.
So like
plus
the
forces,
opposites in duality cancel
Exactly.
each other
Yeah.
out to
and the
nothing.
universe cancels itself out to zero, which means our
That
universe
everything is
might
zero.
have spawned, not necessarily, but it means that our universe could have spawned from absolutely
With
nothing.
nothing, yes.
It
I
literally
agree
might
with
have been
you on
nothingness
that.
And just pop in and poof, in this whole universe,
Source had a thought.
which is fucking crazy.
And
Because
crack.
the physics rule of you can't create or destroy matter or energy is still true, and it doesn't break that rule. Which
Yeah,
is even
energy
more
cannot be
bonkers.
created or
Yeah.
destroyed. So
But
there's always
there
so
are
you
little
call it the
tricky
zero
loopholes
energy,
to get,
right?
Yeah, but there's loopholes to get around it. Such as there's these things called virtual particles that are literally matter that pops into existence that was
In
never
and
there
out of
before,
existence.
and pops back exactly. But it pops out so quick, it can't interact with anything, so it can't cause anything, so it doesn't count as having
Well, I
existed.
think that's what the universe does is
That's
pops
what the
in and
universe
out of
might have been,
existence.
yes.
Like our billions and billions of
Our
cycles,
our
gazillions,
universe
is
could be
one
they-
breath of God.
What it seems like might be possible is that a universe's worth of shit pops into existence in a tiny point, like the Big Bang, that creates all compressed. But it almost always has exactly equal antimatter and matter,
Uh-huh.
and it annihilates itself in an instant. So it's like a virtual particle. It pops in, annihilates itself, and it's gone.
So it
zero
can't
energy
be
was there and zero energy at the end.
black
so it
or
doesn't
white.
count.
It has to be both in order to be.
Well, it's something more extreme than a black hole. Whatever the singularity is.
Well, I think
behind the
black
Big
holes
Bang
are all connected
is-
to each other.
no,
They're like
you're
portals.
comparing a black hole to the Big Bang is like comparing the moon to a black hole.
No, the white hole is the Big Bang. It was a black
Well,
hole.
either way, it's not. It can't be. No, it's something. It's too beyond. That's like comparing a car to a skyscraper. You can't. They're too complete. Their math doesn't even align the same. The way physics work in a black hole is so extreme. It's different physics than the rest of the universe. And the way physics works in the Big Bang singularity is so extreme compared to a black hole. It can't even be compared to that. It's like a whole different level.
Yeah, there's so much I don't
Now,
know.
white hole, yeah, you might want to. You can try to come up with something completely, but it can't be like a black hole in any way because that singularity is so much more massive and different than a black hole. It's just completely different. It's a whole different set of physics. Like, it's crazy.
No, I'm picturing a 0 point of energy source, the source nothing, and its duality is black hole and white hole, and it expresses itself, expands, and then collapses back into
Well, like I said, that's
nothing.
after we discovered the Big Bang. That's what everybody thought the universe cycle was. We assumed, oh,
Really?
okay, Big Bang, and then it's like a black. There's a black hole in every major every major galaxy. There's a supermassive at the center. So they kind of pictured eventually that's going to suck everything together.
Yeah.
And then there's enough gravity that's going to pull everything else together, and eventually it's all going to be back to one again.
Right.
And it would be such a massive singularity that it would end up being another Big Bang and then out again.
Right.
That was the original theory, yes.
They need to go back to that.
They can't. Dark
Good.
energy ruined it.
Dark
That was everybody's theory. That was what everybody wanted to be the truth. It
Dark
fit math,
energy
it
ruined
fit
it.
models, but
Okay,
we
then you
found
got to
out.
tell me how dark energy ruined
Well, that's
it.
what. So we found out dark energy exists, and it ruined everything. So you might have heard of Einstein's cosmological constant. That's his only known mistake he's ever made. He had to, for his math to check out when he figured out relativity and everything, for his math to be perfect with the way the visible, observable universe worked, something was missing, and he had to add what he called the universal constant, which was basically an outward force that was countering gravity and pushing everything apart to keep it from being sucked back together. And when he added that in, the math all checked out, but he was like, that's a mistake. He took it back out. He's like, that doesn't exist. We don't know of anything like that. It's not a thing, so I must be wrong. I fucked up somewhere, and I got to figure it out. And he spent his life trying to, what the fuck did I do? Well, later down the road with quantum physics and better tech, we discovered dark energy. And when you plug in what dark energy is doing to the universe into his equations, it fits exactly, almost dead on, what he put for universal constant. So dark energy we call it dark energy because we have no idea what the fuck it is. It's a recent discovery. Dark matter and
You're
dark
talking about
energy
what
both.
exists in nothing space?
Dark matter and dark energy are two things we've discovered that exist in the entire universe. All of it. On Earth, off of Earth, everywhere.
Are they counters of each other?
No. Kind of. They're two different things. We call them dark because we have no clue what the fuck they are. We don't know where they come from. And as far as we can tell, they don't interact with any other forces in
You're
the whole
saying
universe.
are they like
They're
black
two
holes
separate
or
things.
something? Oh,
So,
dark energy and dark matter.
when we measure the whole universe, there is a shitload of missing mass from how much we know there is out there based on how much gravity there is, how much there was at the Big Bang, and all these other measurements. We know roughly how much mass should be out there. 80% of it's unaccounted for. We're like, where the fuck is it all? It's dark matter.
Okay, so they're basing
So it's not
their
black
dark
holes.
energy theory on the fact
No,
that they
this
can
is
only
dark
see
matter.
so many galaxies?
This is dark matter. No. There's sources of severe gravity that we can measure. More gravity than a black hole. Most of the gravity in the universe is coming from dark matter. It's not stars, it's not planets, it's not black holes, it's nothing. Whatever it is, it only puts out gravity. Light doesn't touch it. X-rays, gamma rays, tachyons, neutrinos, magnetism, nothing touches it. The only thing it interacts with is gravity, and that is all we know. It puts gravity on other shit, but other shit's gravity doesn't seem to interact with it either. It makes no fucking sense. No one knows what the fuck it is, but we know it's there for a fact.
Well, that might
That's
be
dark
something
matter.
I need to study.
Yeah, you
'cause
should. And then dark energy.
I need to make it fit the egg.
Yeah.
I have to.
So dark energy is another thing we've discovered. There's an energy that is from every single point in the universe. If you were to pop in anywhere in our whole entire universe and you look out, every single other thing outside of your solar system is moving away from you faster and faster.
Right,
and
right.
the farther away you look, the farther away it's moving away from you. So literally, if you're on one edge of the observable universe, the stuff on this edge is moving faster away from you than the speed of light, which shouldn't even be possible. So dark energy is whatever force it is that something is forcing our universe to spread apart.
Well,
It's
I
already
think
spread apart
I
too
think
far.
it's tied to the initial expansion,
It's
the initial
not.
Big
No, they've already
Bang.
checked for that. It's not.
It's
No,
not.
it's not.
There's
That explosion
some
force
sort
was
of
billions of years ago.
structure that is, because I see the structure as a
Oh, I know. That's what I tried to tell you before, is that
spiral.
dark energy means it can't be any of that, because that's not. We know for a fact the entire universe is doing this in all directions. It is spreading.
Well, yeah,
apart.
that's what it does in
Yeah,
the
but there's no
egg.
spiral.
It-
Yeah, no,
it-
you're picturing it as an explosion force.
I'm picturing it
That's
as a,
not
like
it, though.
blood flame.
No, I know. It's
blood
whoop, and then it
veins.
hits and then it goes, but it's not that. The force is accelerating. It's not from an initial
Yeah.
explosion.
Yeah.
No,
It-
initial explosion is max speed, slower, 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 forever.
Well,
until
it
stops.
does slow down.
No, it's not. It's speeding up infinitely.
Yes, right now. I
Okay,
agree.
so what's doing that though? What could be? That's the point. You're saying it's from the Big Bang. That's not true. It cannot be. An explosion is never faster, ever, unless it's a continuing thing that's something plugged in and adding energy.
Yeah, I don't understand
The initial
myself
explosion
why the
is
structure
max speed.
forms as an egg, or why I haven't been able to.
Okay, but either way, beyond that, right now our universe wouldn't work in your egg idea because it'll break out of it and shatter out further.
No, but it's a force like the
Yeah, that's
force
fine,
of the.
but the dark energy would break it. Dark energy right now is the most powerful force in the universe. It's overcoming
At
everything.
some point, it might.
No,
break.
it is. It's overcoming
No, I'm saying
everything.
at some point it might break it.
It would have to.
At some point.
Because the dark energy is too powerful. Nothing can make our universe go back together. The dark energy is pushing out too hard. It's pushing so hard that literally entire solar systems are moving the speeds of light.
Okay, I'm gonna have to study dark energy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to tackle
It's dark
that,
energy's
'cause
crazy, yeah.
I
We
don't
have
know
no
enough
fucking
about
idea.
it.
So another crazy thing is that Higgs field I was talking about, how they say it's not in its natural state. All fields, all atoms, all energies try to go to their natural state. They always want to be at their lowest natural state, their lowest energy state. Every single thing in the universe does it, all the way down, all the way from this giant black hole, all the way down to a single electron. Everything in the universe follows that law. It's a law of thermodynamics.
What do you mean by its natural state?
So if you heat something up,
Okay.
it will cool down until it's at its natural
Yeah.
lowest energy
Okay.
state. If you add energy to something, it
It's
will always find a way
state
to
of
burn it. Yeah.
rest or
If
whatever.
you charge an electron, it'll put off
Okay.
energy and lower its level until it calms
If you have
down.
ADD, you
If
chill
put
out.
A,
That should
if you put a ball on a hill, it will eventually roll down the hill until it reaches
Yeah.
the bottom. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, the Higgs boson, it's like a ball on a hill, and that hill isn't straight down. It's down, it's got divots, it's down, it's got divots.
Yeah.
Right now, that Higgs boson's in a divot, and something could get it going to where it starts tumbling down the hill again, trying to find its lower energy state. If that Higgs field does that, if something triggers that to start happening, and anything could, at any moment, what will happen? Wherever that happens in the entire universe, that will be the end of the entire universe, possibly the multiverse, if there is one. And what will happen is wherever that starts, it doesn't have to be like a major event, like a black hole size amount of energy. If one single particle anywhere in the universe causes a reaction with one other particle that balances the Higgs field in that spot, particle size, it will start a chain reaction. The Higgs field will begin a sphere that will travel out in all directions at the speed of light, balancing the Higgs field and destroying all
And
mass,
we're
all
experimenting
matter,
with
all
that.
laws of physics.
We're
A little bit,
experimenting
yes.
with that shit
A
in
little bit,
tubes
yeah.
and capsules.
We created the Higgs boson, yeah.
Yeah,
We created
we shouldn't be messing with
yeah,
that.
no. If we
Are
fucked
you
up and
kidding
started
me?
that, yeah. It would start wherever it happened, and it would be a ball traveling out the speed of light in all directions, annihilating in an instant.
See, that's
everything.
probably why the aliens
It
were
would
coming.
literally unmake energy, matter. It would change the
Yeah.
laws of physics. It would literally just unmake everything.
I wonder if the
There would
aliens
be
are
nothing
hovering
that could
over
be done.
that
Even if we
lab.
somehow saw and knew it was coming, there's nothing.
Yeah,
It's just
nothing
the
you
end
can
of the
do.
universe, yeah. And it can happen at any moment. Just then the universe is over.
It's not
It's
like
fucking
redirecting an asteroid.
And yeah, exactly like you said, we're over here playing with that field.
Yeah.
We've tried to forcibly create the Higgs particle.
Hello.
Well, we always do that. the first ever mini black hole we created, there was a chance that it could eat up the whole Earth.
So we could fuck up the whole
Yeah.
universe.
We knew when we tried to make our first ever mini black hole, like if it sustains
Yeah.
itself and starts eating matter, that's it. Earth is
There
over.
goes the lab.
We
There
got
goes
lucky.
California.
Hawking was right, and due to Hawking evaporation and Hawking radiation, the miniature black hole can't sustain itself and it evaporates too quick. But we could have been wrong. And same with the first nuke. First time we ever launched a nuke, the math said
Yeah.
there is a chance you could ignite the entire atmosphere and destroy the whole planet in one go.
Jesus.
We still tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, what these smart people do with their brains
Yeah, it's scary.
isn't always for
Well,
the better.
that's the thing. Genius doesn't guarantee moral fiber,
There
or
you
sympathy,
go. There
or
you
empathy,
go.
or any of that.
Right.
Genius
right.
does not mean you're a good person. It just means you're genius. So.
Yeah, what good did you to figure that out if you're going to destroy the whole universe with that knowledge? This is why you are slowly being acclimated to the knowledge
Bonkers.
because you're not ready for it. What would you do with it, you know?
And it's, people like to think of good guys and bad guys, and it's like not really. We're all kind of shitty, and there's all
Yeah.
bad guys on all sides. Like, it's scary, and like, there's a lot of stuff with science that's got a dark side to it that I never even knew. I was always proud of NASA and the fact that we accomplished all that and everything. That was only on the backs of Nazis.
Yeah.
All of NASA's work getting us to the moon and all that's all Nazi research, literally. The Germans had all that. We stole it all. Literally rescued Nazis from Nuremberg trials, like some of the worst of the worst. We saved them from prison and murder to bring them over. They ran NASA. The head of NASA was a Nazi, Werner von Braun. We stole hundreds of their scientists.
Like the United States is the biggest
fucking bonkers.
bully of the
Oh
world.
yeah, nowadays, yeah. All the stuff terrorists say about us is true.
Yeah,
Now, granted, the shit we say about them is true too.
Right.
Everybody's fucking doing it, but yeah, that's. Granted, people make it out nowadays like, oh, America's the worst thing ever for doing. Like, no, every country that's been in power ever in human history's done that. So they all.
Power corrupts,
Yeah.
absolutely.
France and Britain used to
Absolutely.
rule the whole world before us, literally. That's why there's the
Yeah,
phrase.
France. I think
France and Britain both.
France still does, but
Oh
under
yeah,
the
they both
table.
have. They
under
both have
the
a lot
table.
of control, but no.
I think the Queen
they,
still
they
controls
don't have as much power. Germany's more
the
powerful than
people.
both of them.
Because didn't they say all the presidents are descendants and related to
Well,
the
a lot of
Queen
them,
of England?
but that's not. That's just because France and
Or
Britain
not
have.
France. I'm thinking England. I think.
Yeah, it's both though. That's not because they have so much power now. That's because those two had so much power for so long. Like the phrase "the sun never sets on the British Empire" was true.
Britain.
No matter where the sun was on the earth, it was on British colonies because Britain and France owned the world. Like they had colonies everywhere. They ran everything. So
Yeah, I don't think we ever truly
they
separated.
wouldn't let Russia have a king, Germany have a king, no one else, anyone else who had royalty, they were forced to marry into British royalty and French royalty. So if you're a country within any of them thousands
So
of
they're
years,
really about the roots and keep it in
they
the
say,
bloodline.
oh, you guys
and-
have royalty? We're going to send a few cousins over. They're going to marry in. Now they're your princes and kings. Same with you, Russia. Same with you, Germany. So like during World War One, even though they're on opposite sides, the leader of Germany and the leader of Russia were cousins, and they were cousins of the current leaders of France and Britain. Like they're all related. They all have been for that's why. It's because France and Britain had so much control that they spread their royal blood to everybody. Like the world was also a lot smaller back then. A lot
And do you
easier
think
to
it's still
control.
secretly all about the blood, even down to our
It's not
government, our
blood. It's
politicians?
nepotism.
Is what?
Nepotism, it's not the
Oh,
blood itself. It's
nepotism.
nepotism. Yeah. Oh yeah. Everyone thinks, oh, this is the land of opportunity and the freedom.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. If you're born poor in this country, your odds of being not poor, by the time you die, is tiny. We are literally near the bottom of the list. What they call it upward economic mobility. Basically, how easy it is for you to go from poor to middle class to wealthy, and so how is it for your kids to surpass you?
Yeah.
We rate near the bottom in the whole world of that. We are one of the hardest countries on earth to go from poor to wealthy. And that reason is because all of our wealthy are the same wealthy that have been since almost the beginning. It's just hand-me-down, passed-down, corrupt family bullshit.
Silver spoon
Yeah,
continued.
exactly. It's the same wealth that's been
Just
around
like
forever.
welfare is a
The Bill
generational.
Gateses are the rarities, the guys who invent something and become new wealth.
Yeah.
It's all same with politics. The 80-some% of politicians, their family was in it. family before him was in it.
Right.
Same with everything that's rich. Actors, all of them. Like 90% of them, their family was in Hollywood. Their grandparent was a producer.
Doctors, police.
Yeah, every big not police. They're pretty easy to get into. But all the high-end jobs that everybody wants, the big fancy CEO stuff, yeah, Hollywood, politicians, being in real power, yeah, it's all nepotism. The vast majority. It's something like
Yeah, because like even with art, I mean, you have to know
same
somebody
with artists,
to get anywhere.
Any big field,
you have to be a friend of a rich dude.
Yeah. Skill doesn't matter. It's who you know. It's luck.
Yeah.
And being attractive. That's a big. It's who you know and being attractive. That's the main. Those two factors matter more than anything. The biggest predictor of success for someone born in the U.S. is what zip code they're born into. Trumps everything. IQ, education, everything. Because if you're born wealthy, you're going to be wealthy. It's too easy. And everything about our economy is made to funnel upward. They lied and called it trickle down. Reagan started that bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. They said it's to trickle down. We're funneling it all up here to make this so strong that it just rains down to you guys. But that's a complete lie. The whole system is designed to keep it up there. Wealthy people do not reinvest.
Well, that's why when we go to the art shows and nobody has cash anymore.
Yeah.
Do you have Cash App? Do you have a card reader? Do you have this, that? What? You don't have a 20 in your pocket?
Our entire system is made to get the rich richer. It's not made for opportunity.
Because it's not taxable. Cash isn't taxable. And the property taxes have skyrocketed so much. It's getting so... They keep us dangled on a thinner and thinner rope as much as they can squeeze out of you as possible and keep you as slaves and keep you somewhat distracted.
That stuff, that's exactly why any conspiracy theory of, the government wants to poison this or put this in that or put chips in you to kill you this day or make you retarded. None of that is true. Every powerful government ever in all of human history wants high birth rates, not low. They want as much population as they can get. They want workers, they want wage slaves, they want
sheep
soldiers.
in the field,
Exactly. And they don't want them retarded. Everybody makes those conspiracies. No.
Disposable
retarded people are
usable
horrible
people.
workers. The government, the military spent, it was like 35 years and a shitload of money.
So you don't think they're
studying.
Pushing for depopulation?
No, that's complete not. They want the opposite. Governments panic when that happens. Look at Japan right now. Look at
so you don't think
Germany.
COVID was
every country right
deal?
now? No, that's right. Any conspiracy theorist who says anything about the government wants to remove pop, they are wrong. Every government profits off of more and more people. Always, the more they get, the better.
They're taxpayers.
Yes.
They're born as taxpayers.
Soldiers,
your Social Security number is your license for the corporation called the government.
And even not just taxpayers. Government also loves under-the-table cash workers because they do the shit-ass horrible jobs for rates no one else would work for. They love the Mexicans sneaking across the border. Everyone has this idea of, they hate illegal workers. They support the shit out of it. If you go to Texas, there's a million known illegal workers doing government jobs all day, putting in streets, sidewalks, all kinds. But people don't want to do that shit for $6 an hour in the sweltering death heat and heat exhaustion. Right. Those are the only workers who will do it. So they love that those jobs can get filled.
Well, why was Trump building a wall then? If
just to play to racist, literally just to pay lip service. He never even finished it. He didn't give a shit. He lied about that wall 10 times over. And Mexico was going to pay for it, and they never did. It was all just bullshit lip service. Yeah. He just almost everything he promised on his campaign trail was just to get votes. None of it was true. He literally did not do a single thing he promised on his campaign trail. Not a one of the major things, anyway. He was going to redo the tax code and fix it and get the loopholes out. He did not touch the tax code. He was going to get rid of Obamacare and redo the healthcare system and fix it. He didn't touch it.
Oh, I think Barbie gave me her cold.
Oh, boy. He said he was going to fix the housing market. Didn't touch it. He made it worse, actually. He said he was going to build the wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. He didn't. Mexico didn't pay for a single dollar of it. We did. He didn't do anything.
See, now we're going to have to call this podcast My Big Toe because it's not just science and space, and it's politics, and it's the world, and
it's all tied together.
You just know everything about everything. You've studied.
I know a little about everything because, I don't know. I get into a subject.
I mean, have you really gotten into history itself, the war? Yeah, you know all the wars.
I can show you. I've listened to 4-hour long of podcasts talking about literally one specific torpedo from one kind of sub in World War II.
You should have your own podcast
get fascinated
because you
about
have
that shit.
such a collection of information.
Yeah, but I'm not. There's no point because I'm not an expert more than anybody in any of those fields. So I.
But you don't
there's no
have to
point.
be. That's
Well,
the
yeah,
thing.
to talk about
You
shit,
don't
but
have
it's
to
not.
be.
I wouldn't have anything to say that no one else has. Can't find anywhere else better.
Yeah,
except
but
or
most
heard
people
of.
are too lazy to
Now,
research
I
for
will
themselves.
say in some cases I'm pretty good at like. I can understand some like advanced shit when it's like
There's stuff you figured
when it's
out on
really
your own that they haven't.
deep and I will say, yeah, there's been a few times growing up where I've sat there and thought on stuff and tried to figure out how it works, and then when I go and research how it actually works, I was right.
Yeah.
Like how eyes work with light and how it bounces off of stuff. There's a few things like, but like, and I will say I'm sometimes I'm good at because I know enough about a lot of scientific subjects that I can understand the technical jargon.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go read about something, I don't read like, oh, here's a journalist writing an article about it for
Right.
people. I go read the actual,
whole
here's a
paper.
scientist writing it for other scientists.
Yeah.
I go to that source. And I've gotten to where I can read and understand those. And then I'm pretty decent at boiling that down to like making it to where a regular person can get it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that is one
So you're like a
aspect where
translator
Yeah,
from
I
the
can kind of do
scientist to
that.
the people.
Yeah, but there's people who do that way better than me too. A lot of them that I listen
Well,
to.
I think you're pretty
And
darn
so it's
good
like,
at it. So,
yeah. Like I wish I had gone to college. I wish I had known that we could have gone to Notre Dame for free.
I know, right?
Because if I could have taken those advanced business courses and known the math behind all this shit,
and physics.
it would have made
and-
me understand it so much more.
Yeah.
But that's the other problem is even when I heard we could have went to Notre Dame possibly.
But
at
they
a
don't
discount,
want smart people
I
outside their
didn't know-
bloodline.
Oh yeah, well no, yeah.
They
that's,
don't.
That's why Biden. That's why
They'll
every
either
time.
kill you off or buy you out.
That's why every time there's a push for we need to lower costs of education, they never do it. And that's why the only thing
education's supposed to be
yeah.
free.
And that's why the only thing they're talking about maybe doing is people who've paid for expensive college university loans above a certain level, we'll refund them. Yeah, because that's all your rich fucking kids who can afford it.
Right.
Assholes.
Yeah,
You're
and
just
their
copying
kids
yourselves.
aren't in
Yeah.
the military.
Yeah. And
They're
then
not
us,
the ones protecting
who
the
had
country.
to go to the military or not afford college, we're the ones who are going to have to pay the taxes to cover their rich kid paybacks.
They finally
fucking so
stopped
bullshit.
charging school book fees in the schools.
Oh yeah, finally a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because Dad tried to fight that years ago.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Because it was so expensive. And it's like the Constitution says that education is supposed to be free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you gotta love it. We are literally the richest country that has ever existed in all of human history by far. Like, you can't even graph us with other, the Roman Empire and wealth value. Even when you control for, let's extrapolate to today, one coin was worth, it's still not even close. We're the richest that there's ever been in all of human history by a long shot. Can't get free education. We can't get free health care. We can't even get decently priced health care. We can't even get clean lead-free water to our whole country. We can't even keep our country from polluting and destroying the environment. All because of corruption and greed. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And every time they tell us, oh, we couldn't afford to give you guys free health care. It'd be too crazy. Every other country's doing it. Even Russia has cheaper health care than us.
And try to get an unknown regular person into the White House, not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. No, you have to be
Not
rich.
going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what we need. We need the kind of people who don't want to be in charge is the exact people we need in charge.
Yeah.
We get the absolute worst pieces of shit running for office.
Yeah.
And the problem is...
It's all a screenplay.
It'll never get fixed or changed because both sides have turned it into a goddamn sporting event.
Yeah.
And so now anyone who's into politics, most people don't even give a shit anymore about trying to get what's right done and tackle big issues. It's, I hate the other guy. I want them to get shit on.
Everybody put on your red hats.
Exactly.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So most Democrats, the only power you have over a politician, unless you're super rich, is your vote. That is it. That's the only thing that you have that they give a shit about. That's your only power.
Yeah. And
The
they know how to
99%
control
of
a lot of
Democrats
that.
are guaranteed Democrats. They will vote blue no matter who because they are so terrified of Team Red and what they'll do if they're in power. They will never withhold their vote. They will never go, you're giving me trash. Hillary Clinton is my choice? Joe Biden? No, I'm not voting. They'll never do that because they're so scared. Oh my God, if I don't vote, Team Red's, all the blue news tells them, oh, Republicans want to do
That's
this.
how Biden
they want
got
to do
in.
that. They want to do this.
If he's their best, I'm
Yeah.
I almost
So
feel sorry for them.
yeah, but they'll always vote for them because they're so
Right,
scared of what
right.
they vote. And it's the exact same on the other side. Republicans, even if ones who say hate Trump or hate whoever's up, they'll always vote for him because they're so scared of what Hillary's going to do or so scared.
They fucked up.
So
They should have went with Bernie Sanders.
red guys always vote red. Yeah, I know. Well, they did. The voters wanted Bernie, but the DNC said no. They cheat. They literally
Well, it was
cheated.
the news media. They were
Well, they teamed
limited
up with them.
coverage.
Yeah, news and the DNC and Hillary, all three teamed up against Bernie.
Well, the news
They
is
admitted
all
it in
owned
court.
by corporations
Yeah.
and shit.
Oh yeah, I showed Dad a graph. News on this side, news on this side.
Yeah.
Top news guy here, married to top guy in Hillary's department. Top news guy of this station, married to Obama's top guy. Top guy here, married. Same with the other side. Fox News top guy here, married to Trump's top guy. Top guy over here, married to DeSantis.
Nepotism.
Yeah, it is. That's right. It's all of it. Every field.
And it's from every level because
Yeah,
your
top
dad
down.
was fighting nepotism in the South Bend City.
And who are these politicians all working for? Super rich nepotism babies, the donor class, all the 1% super wealthy. They literally spend, somebody actually broke down the math. It's something like 88% of a senator's time in office is spent trying to get money from the super rich and giving them what they want and talking to them and talking to their lobbyists and reading their policies they want. The other 12% is split among doing what all the voters want and everything else. And their actual job. Like it's all they do all day is literally talk to people paid by the super rich. It's fucking crazy. And when they retire from politics, that's the exact job they go into. If you spend your whole political career, say, doing what Elon Musk wants and what Jeff Bezos wants, and getting the bills through that help their companies and do what they want, shit on the little people. Well, when you retire from politics, they hand you a nice cushy $500,000 a year lobbying job, where you then go talk to politicians and tell them, hey, you should do this and that, and it's fucking crazy. They call it the revolving door of lobbying.
I think it's kind of scary that Elon has such a big voice. He has power because people follow him and listen to him.
He can literally crash entire markets with tweets. With 8 tweets.
Just because he's rich, people are going to listen to him.
Well, rich and famous.
Yeah.
The Kardashians have just as much power. That's even scarier. At least Elon's a super rich engineer who's done something. The Kardashians are literally rich for being rich. They're famous for being famous. They're literally just dumb bimbo hoes who leak sex tapes. Well, they are.
Well, I haven't looked into it. I don't know.
They've done nothing, but they're just rich off of leaked sex tapes. All I know
is they're rich. I don't know who they are.
Well, it started off with the dad, who was OJ's lawyer. One of the best lawyers ever, yeah. That's where his wealth started. That's where they're a great family. And then he used that money to get his family into connections with Hollywood and everything else. And then the sex tapes got leaked by
it's all rubbing
accident.
elbows and keeping it in the circle.
Yeah, and now they're literally rich just for being rich. Like, one of the Kardashians could just hold up a thing and make a tweet. Oh, I love Coke. Boom, billions of dollars, millions.
Wow.
It's just same thing. They can crash markets with tweets.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, social media has really caused some fucking bonkers shit. It's crazy, like, that they're, to me too, that social media has created, there's child millionaires. Tons of them. Like young teens.
You mean like YouTube stars and stuff?
YouTube, TikTok, all of it. Twitter. There's tons of multi-millionaire teenagers that have tons of power over nothing. They just made a bunch of videos dancing.
But that still kind of contradicts about how the poor are able to become rich, because
but that's
I was thinking, well, there's YouTube people.
Yeah. But for every one YouTube person who made it, there's 10 million that didn't.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So it's still, the odds are insanely tiny.
You get a viral video and then you're a movie star.
Most other Western developed countries, your kids are better off than you. Nearly every single generation is practically a guarantee. Over here, it's not the case. It's way lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our country rates horribly in that.
Huh.
In fact, I think we just passed a record recently of where we just hit for the first time in U.S. history where children were not expected to surpass the wealth of their parents. I think it was like right after that fucking that crash, the one during Obama, the fucking housing shit, and then bubble burst.
That sucks.
Mm-hmm. Well, richest country ever, but we just keep getting the fucking shaft.
I think all these rich people who spend $5,000 on shoes and $100,000 on cars, they should like each like adopt a family,
Oh, that's
a
why
regular family in
that's
the
why I
lower
like Bernie's
class.
idea.
Teach them how to become entrepreneurs. Teach them
Yeah.
how to become successful and how to, and help them out. If they need a
Yeah.
new tractor, buy them a tractor.
That's why I like Bernie's idea. He was saying no one deserves to be a billionaire. You cannot
Yeah.
spend it ever.
Nobody needs that much. That's
too
too
much.
dangerous.
Yeah.
That's a national
Yeah.
security issue.
Oh, yeah. Well, literally, someone who's a billionaire could literally be blowing tens of thousands a day on nothing every day of their entire life.
Tesla
and never
builds
even
flamethrowers and rockets. I mean, he's just a person.
There was one thing I saw that said if you started at the year zero and you made $100,000 a year every year all the way till today, you still wouldn't have the wealth of Elon or Musk or Jeff Bezos. Like, it is insane. 2,000 years of $100,000 a year, and you wouldn't even touch their wealth. Like, it's unreal. And yeah, so Bernie was having the idea of he was going to set an upper limit.
Okay, but where are all these rich people coming from?
Anyone who has money above that limit has to pay insane tax rate because they don't need any more money
They're
anymore.
doing all this construction right next to us. Building these $3,000 a month condos. And they're on their, sixth built. Well, they've got all these townhomes down here, like 15 of them. $250,000 and up to
My guess
$500,000.
is it's mostly tech boom people.
And the $3,000 a month.
Yeah, it's mostly probably tech people. That was so just as big as how the oil boom was. The tech boom was even bigger. There are so many jobs now in tech, at Google and at Amazon and all these other. And so there's a lot of people that have gotten a lot of wealth off of tech now, making apps.
I'm like, where'd all these rich people come from? What?
A lot of them, that's what it is.
They're going to end up buying us out because we're like the sore thumb sticking out in their neighborhood now. They took over. They took over our neighborhood. They took our view of the river. Code enforcement is on us like crazy. Cut your weeds, they're too long.
Sure. Yeah, now the wealthy people are over here.
Yeah. And you know what? They say, it'll up your value. No, it upped our property taxes. That's
Don't
about
do us
it.
no good, yeah.
I'm sitting here. I want a plan to retire here. And if they don't buy us out, then what good is it doing me other than higher property taxes? I don't get a gain unless I get the fuck out. If you do.
Yeah, if you can sell it.
Yeah. Because these are all 100-year-old houses.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to title this as Black Holes, Economy, Real Estate, Politicians, Queen. I can't think of anything. I'm usually better at that.